Right, so we often got a lot of requests to create videos about raiding because a lot of people want to see those big bosses get down by a large group of players. So here what we decided to do was show an instance here called Dead City in Allods Online, and here we're fighting a boss called Eater of the Worlds, and we thought this would be an interesting boss to show because in many cases a boss is simply just what's called a tank and spank, basically just one big mob that you send a bunch of people to fight, whereas this one requires a little bit of a coordination. So there's people fighting on the bottom as well as people hopping on the dragon, so we thought this would be a cool clip to show. Now some people from the outside would often ask, well, what is raiding exactly? So why is it so special, or why is it fun in a multi-massive online game? And essentially I guess a big reason for that is because most enemies or challenges in these type of games just require a small amount of people, whereas these raids, as you can see, it requires usually more than 6 or 8 people to down the boss. It requires at least over a dozen or so. And usually I would say, if you're wondering why the person's running to the computer at a certain specific time, you can usually bet that he's usually trying to raid in a game like this, because there's usually scheduled times to try to coordinate everybody. And I don't know, I think that's just one of the challenges and one of the more fun aspects of these type of games. What do you guys think?
I think it's one of them things that it's like a hobby. You have to have a time for it, and it's really hard to get the team together and you have a time zone, and you have to have a specific time, like a gap between some people wake up at 5 AM and have to raid, and you don't want to have them online for like 3 hours early in the morning and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely one of the challenge to bring a group of people, half a dozen as you said, just to come online and kill this boss. So
half a dozen, it's like 2 dozen, isn't it? It's a lot of people to coordinate.
Yep.
And one way basically people coordinate is, in some games, as you can see, you could communicate just simply through text chatting, but when it comes to bosses that require this many people to come on at the same time, like ourselves, we usually use a VoIP program. Like for ourselves, we use Mumble here, and I think that's one of the fun aspects of it as well, where people can kind of, talk to each other and coordinate that way, so it seems a little bit more, I guess, real. You're not just like talking text to some pixel, like it's more interactive that way. Like, what do you guys think?
I never get these people who just say, well man, it's just pixelated people, like why should I care, blah blah. It's like, what the hell, man? It's like real life people behind these screens. You have to build up at least some kind of friendship, or like some kind of interaction with them at least. I mean, far out. So
well, for me, the voice chat is sort of a necessity, because you can't, or as a tank, in this game anyway, you don't really have time to stop and chat while you're doing everything. So you need to be able to have that communication open at all times if you want to be successful.
Now some people would say too, this is actually more stress and it's more frustrating for them because they're trying to get all these people to coordinate. Like, so how do you guys feel about that when you are playing a game like this, like raiding a boss, so to speak, with this many people? Do you guys find it more frustrating, or do you guys find it like that's kind of the fun aspect of it?
Yeah, it's stressful, but that's part of the fun. I mean, you can't expect to bring 24 people together from, different countries all around the world and expect it all to run smoothly and have everyone on time and whatever else. But when it does all come together and you're able to get that group in and make some progress, it's a lot of fun.
definitely, man. I mean, as you can't just put a group of 24 people in one place and think they're gonna make wonders. It's like, some people just don't fit together. It will clash. But I found it really funny when you have a group of 24 who cannot do something that a group of 12 can do, because they don't have the same, what's the word? I don't know what's the word is. Someone help me here. Savivi maybe?
What? I'm busy shooting.
Chemistry, yeah, that one. Thank you, Savivi.
Now sometimes
That's-
too, people that aren't in a bigger guild, for example, they feel they can't raid, for example, because they don't have the adequate numbers to down bosses. But I think we're showing kind of, just as an example in this clip too, you don't always need a full raid, so to speak. I mean, sometimes that's the challenge too when it comes to raiding, is how much can you do with the people that you have. Like this boss, for example, some people will say, oh, there's no way we should even try it, but here we're just kind of showing what you can do even if you don't have a full raid. And I would say at the same time, I guess raiding is basically what makes these type of games kind of unique, I suppose, like versus say, you know, a single player game. I think this is, you know, one of the main features that makes people play MMO games like this. What would you guys say?
For me, I don't think you're really getting the most out of the game until you get these big groups going. I mean, you've got so many people. You know, there's a massively online multiplayer, and unless you've got these big groups going, I mean, if you want to play a game with 2 or 3 people, you can easily go play Call of Duty or something, with a small group of people.
Well, some people just want to dodge the whole raiding thing 'cause they don't want the game to become like, as owner said, assured that they have to log in this time and blah blah and this and that. So, but then
Well, no,
again,
it's a balancing act. You don't want to make it like a job, but it has to be something which is fun to do, which I think we are achieving at this point.
Yep, I think that's the important thing too, right? Don't forget, you're here to have fun, and basically it's a game. I think that's what we enjoy a lot too, just doing these raids, having fun, and seeing how well we progress all the time. Right, so as you can see, this boss here, yep, poof, it's basically dying. Muzza hopped into his dragon despite all of his lagging, so sorry he doesn't have a better computer, right Muzz?
Yeah, feel free to sponsor me one, anyone listening.
Alright, other than that, we thought this was one of the more entertaining bosses, as the other ones we think are a little bit more straightforward. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the clip, because a lot of you were asking for it, and I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
yeah,
So, yeah.
see you guys.